So we're coming up on December, and God only knows what we're going to be faced with. Right now, it's early November, and our water temperatures are pushing 78, 79 degrees. The fish they have no sense of urgency. We're actually catching more on deep shell than we are wading. We're catching some wading, but we're catching some on shell ledges and stuff where normally we would be catching them in the fall, late summer and fall. Really bizarre. And having to throw really small baits like the 4-inch Bass Assassin Sea Shad. It's just, I've seen it before, but not very often. So assuming we start getting some cold fronts soon, we will switch over to more suspending baits, twitch baits, like the Corky Original, Double D, Lily, and then in between fronts, we'll throw more topwaters like this Mirror Lure She Dog. And we really have to pay attention to what's happening with the weather. We can't just look at the calendar and think, okay, well, it's December, so we're gonna fish mud and shell guts with corkies and mirrodines and slow sinking twitch baits. We have to look more at the water temperature, what the conditions are, where the active bait is, and adjust accordingly. There are gonna be days where we're gonna be wading shallow flats that have a little bit of silt and a little bit of shell, and we'll be throwing top waters. And then post front conditions, we're gonna slip off into the guts, and we're gonna throw tails and work the edges of those guts. Things like the Bass Assassins, Mirror Lure Little Johns, Provokers, all of those will work well working along the edge of those guts. But we have to play the fronts. We have to know what the fish, what their feeding moods are gonna be pre-front and post-front, what the water temperatures are gonna do, what the barometric pressure, how it's gonna affect these fish. Low pressure days, they're gonna be up in the water column. We're gonna see more active bait. Those are gonna be the days we're gonna throw more top waters and maybe even some shallow running twitch baits like the Lily and the Double D. Days when the fronts blow through, or days after the fronts blow through, and we get those bluebird postcard days when the high pressure sets in, water temperatures drop, tide levels drop. These fish are gonna drop off on the edges of those guts and even into the deep areas. And that's what we're gonna switch over to soft plastics with heavier jig heads, 1/8 and 1/4 ounce jig heads. The bottom line is we have to keep an open mind. We can't get caught where we're thinking that just because it's December, we fish a corky low and slow, because the water temperatures are gonna change. All the conditions, all the elements, all the variables, they'll fluctuate, and we have to adjust accordingly. We have to pay attention to the tide charts, when the fronts pass through, what the barometric pressure is doing, what the wind speed, wind direction is doing, and we have to adjust accordingly. And if we do that, we can stay on top of our game. Let's see, how big's yours? Now it's a trout. Oh, another good creek. Wow, nice, nice. Oh no! You got one? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, that's red. Red fish. What do you have? Trout?
Yeah, trout.
Nice.
Finally.
Good trout. Oh wow. Man, that's a real good trout. Man, that is a stud. Hold him right there. That's a big fish. Here, let me try to bogey. I don't want to put the net on her. That's a good one.